It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers off her. What a fucking chance. Premeditated patter. Premeditated patter.
Before we begin the podcast, people, this is just a quick message for myself to thank you for your loyal and loving support. I wouldn't be sitting in this couch if it wasn't without yous, but I must ask you to support me a wee bit more. My Patreon is available now for subscription. I would ask you, please, for the bottom of your heart and your bank account, come and support them, man. Help me turn this into a full-time job. I've been doing this a couple of years now, and I really want to progress to the next level where I can make endless content. I will always feature guest episodes on YouTube, so never fear, that will always be available to anybody that wants to watch them. But if you subscribe to the Patreon, you will get notified first before anybody of who that week's guest will be. You also have the option to suggest what kind of guests you'd like to see on the programme. I'll also do extra bonus content, for example, reaction videos to tunes, rap battles, to films, to anything that you want to see. Remember, when you are signed up to the Patreon, you have exclusive control. You suggest the content you want to see. What do you want to watch? And I'll do my best to accommodate your requests. I'll also be uploading behind the scenes footage to the Patreon, so how I set up for Premeditated Patter, what goes on off the camera that you see on YouTube will be available on the Patreon. How much do I ask for this? I ask for a £5 a month. £5 per month is the total. That's all I ask of you, and you will get this endless stream of bonus content. The love you give will also be the love you get. Enjoy the podcast, people. In this episode of Premeditated Patter, I am joined by Aston Brown. Aston's a professional boxer that comes from the area of Govan. His early years in the sport were spent representing Scotland in the Commonwealth squad and eventually reaching Team GB, training alongside world-class athletes like Josh Taylor, Anthony Joshua and many more. Aston joins me today to tell me his story, how he went from the height of a boxing amateur career to the lows of drug addiction and eventually prison, and a tale of redemption which led him into recovery and eventually back into the sport he loves. So see, in order to give like the viewer and the listener like a kind of insight and kind of the life you've lived and what brought you to this moment in time, can you tell us like how was your early life growing up and that?
Brilliant, mate. Know what I mean? I feel like I'm doing a share now, it's quite good.
Here we go, man. I've got
I had a good upbringing, mate, innit? I'm from Govan, know what I mean? The Winey. Had a great upbringing. Mum and Dad provided everything for us, know what I mean? I didn't ask for anything, mate, know what I mean? Good upbringing. But again, when I was a young age, 8-year-old, I chose boxing, know what I mean? And even through that early age, boxing, I was even primary school into high school, just boxing for me. And everybody else is going to get mad at it, know that, tasting drugs, drink, whatever it was, know what I mean? And I never done that, mate. I never ever done that. You can ask all the troops, ask Alex, know what I mean? I used to run about with a sweatsuit on, playing 2-man to make weight for the weekend, know what I mean?
Aye.
Boxing competitions.
Just at a young age, aye?
At a young age, mate, never touched drink or drugs. And that was my life, mate. Young, I had a great upbringing, mate, know what I mean? There was never any problems, no struggles, know what I mean? It wasn't until later on in life where I tried drugs and drink, know what I mean? Then boom, before I knew it, man, I went an addict, know what I mean?
Had the avalanche set in.
Of course, mate.
So see, you say you started, you got into boxing yourself at 8. What was it that attracted you to it for you to bring yourself into it?
It was my brother, mate, my brother Jackson. He took us one night at the Palace of Arts, Chris McAdam and that, and he actually went one night, and then the next night I was like, I want to go, and he's like, oh, you're too young getting at that one. And he came back and says, no, you're of age. And I always say this when I speak about it, it was like I went that next day, mate, and it's like the rest is, it's just wanting already years on, mate. He never went back, not my brother had braces at the time and he couldn't spar, so he never went back, and I just loved it, mate. It was just my life. I was just like, I asked my mum and dad, mate, I was boxing obsessed, mate. I remember one time my mum grounded me, mate, and I actually went off, okay, man. I didn't take money out of her purse, I just bounced the back gate, man, and ran up to the Palace Arts, know what I mean, mate, and she was fucking running about, where is he, where's my boy, know what I mean, I was only about 9-year-old, mate, know what I mean, skipped in everything just to go to training, so I knew of a young age, mate, I loved it, know what I mean, and I was going to do something, mate, know what I mean.
So would you say for the minute, like you went to your first class, that was you hooked?
Aye, definitely, it was me and Ryan Smith, both your pal.
I bet.
I had a bear,
no bear, aye.
That's my good pal, man, we two of us are a similar age in there, similar weight, and we just connected straight away. And we used to spar every night, and mate, it was fantastic, mate. I loved it. They were amazing days, mate. It was the days you take for granted, don't you know what I mean? They were amazing
of course.
times.
When you look back in retrospect, you
course,
see
mate.
it's the best days of your life. What was the allure of boxing that captivated your attention so much? What was it about it in particular?
Fighting in it, mate.
Is it just a
Fighting
fight? Do you think? See, being able to do that in a controlled environment where it's kind of you're getting a positive outcome out of it. Well, if you didn't have that, it would have probably been manifested itself on the street.
100%, mate. 100%. And I think quite early on, people noticed, and I probably noticed that I was actually good at it. You know what I mean? Because everybody can want to go to boxing, mate. You need to have a bit of talent, mate.
I had that natural ability.
And a bit of natural ability, and I had that, mate. And I was driven as a young man. You know what I mean? Especially in a boxing gym. So, aye, mate. It was that and the fighting aspect. Mate, I love fighting, as you said, in a controlled environment. I could do it. You know what I mean? And I loved it.
You took to it, and it's one of the things like something clicked in your head like that, right? I've actually got something.
I've got something, and I wanted that to be my life. I even remember in high school, one of the teachers saying to us one time, because I wasn't trying, she was like, "Oh, you can't just depend on boxing, Aston." I was like to myself, "Fucking got to prove you wrong." You know what I mean? And obviously, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm on the right path.
Definitely, you're on the path to proving the wrong, you know what I mean, man? So fair play to you, but it's weird. Actually, I get into boxing. I didn't do the same anywhere near the level you done it. I didn't even compete, but I done boxing training, and it was at the Palace of Art, Chris McAdams last. It was I think I was about 15 or 16. Really good classy for kind of breaking yourself into it, man, because it's kind of got that all level feel. You can go to, if you're a higher level, lower level, whatever else,
there's
man.
Loads of people there.
But it was a really good class. I really enjoyed it, man. And I do seem to say it's the best days of life. I always still think that fucking, because it was near the end of when I was in secondary school, so it was kind of that way. You were kind of drifting in and out of school in that kind of way. So I was doing the exact same, just going down, filling my time with that, just writing about it.
Course,
know what I mean? So see, at what point did you begin to take it seriously?
Probably high school, mate. Like in about second year, third year, I was getting selected for the Scotland squad and that. You know what I mean? Like got to the British Championships, got to smaller tournaments abroad and that. You know what I mean? So you had to get time off school, all that stuff, not to train and represent your country.
Aye. And
then it was probably like 17. I went to my first international tournament. Me and Josh Taylor went to Croatia. What a story that was. And then that was when I knew I was like, yeah, I'm breaking out in the national team here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then obviously, I think that was 2009. And then 2010, that's when I represented Scotland in the Commonwealth Games, you know what I mean? So I was a full-time athlete then. And then the year after that, I got selected for a Great Britain squad. So you're a full-time paid athlete in, mate. It's my life, it's your job now, you know what I mean?
That's
so that was probably when it started getting really serious on me. And I recognised that to be an Olympian or to be a successful amateur at the time, you have to be a full-time athlete. And that's what GB provided, you know what I mean? You're a paid athlete, you know what I mean? You're doing there, once I cracked onto the podium squad, you're doing there Monday to Thursday every week, you know what I mean?
So it's like a full-time job pretty much?
Paid, mate, pay everything paid for, you know what I mean? And you get wages as well. And then we cracked on for there, mate. Aye, man, I had many years on GB that were just fucking amazing. Mixing with some, you could name them right now, all the stars, you know what I mean, right now. And hopefully I'll get there, mate.
Hopefully still
but,
time to get your name
some
up
guys
there.
that are flying, you know what I mean? I.e. Josh Taylor and Anthony Joshua, all my other pals on this GB squad, mate, are all flying, all my winners now, you know what I mean, mate? You know what I mean? So I mixed with some great people, mate, and it was probably the best times of my life, mate. It was.
See, when you say you were in one time in Croatia with Josh Taylor, it was a mad story. How it went down?
It was a funny one, mate. It was the first time I met Josh. We went to Croatia, and it was I get put in the semis with the Russian. I won, beat the Croatian, get put in the semis with the Russian, and he went on to win it. And there was the rest of the team there, you know what I mean, as well. And the last night, who's going out? We all going out. We were only about 17, 18 team, can't remember. Young, you know what I mean. Before the Commonwealth Games, who's going out in the last night? And they were all like, me and Josh. This is the first time we met and we connected. Like, one we'll go out. Me and him took a taxi. They telling the coaches like, I took a taxi into the middle of Croatia and some mad dancing, mate. And I'm just about 20 minutes in a taxi, mate. You know what I mean? All young guys here, basically gone missing in the middle of Croatia. None of the staff know where we were or anything, but they're on their bed, obviously, you know what I mean? Out, man, on it, mad it. What a night we had, mate, partying and some mad Croatian dancing. Managed to scramble a taxi home, and we went into the hotel and there was a wedding on, and I remember me and him going to the wedding. He crashed the wedding, started eating the cake, not mate. It was brilliant. See, just at a young age, mate, I was talking to my old man about it all day, telling him it. And me and Josh were actually talking about it. Well, that mate, the best days of our life, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because no care in the world, mate, you know what I mean? No responsibilities, just living life, mate. And that was when me and him connected. And then obviously we went to the Commonwealth Games and became best friends after that, you know what I mean, up until this day, mate, you know what I mean?
Aye, because right now, because you're training with each other right now, obviously you're helping him in his training camps, preparing for his fight, and vice versa, you're part of the Taylor camp as well.
Aye, basically, mate, so basically we're in Liverpool based. It's Joe McAnally and Declan Ruck, who are the two head coaches, you know what I mean? So they train me, Josh Taylor, Liam Smith, Dan Tull, Kid Shamrock, Keegan Jago, wee Frankie Stringer, all the boys in there, so there's a massive stable in there, so we're all one stable and they two basically trainers, mate, you know what I mean? They're the head coaches. That's who Josh is away over to New York and Uwe, obviously, you know what I mean? That's how I'm here for the next couple of weeks, but I'll be away back down next week when the coaches are back. So it's a thriving stable, mate. It's a major stable, innit, you know what I mean? You've got some superstars in there, you know what I mean? So it's an honour to be in amongst that, mate, you know what I mean? But I asked them to train me after the first Liam Smith Chris Eubank Jr. fight, because I was Liam Smith's basically chief sparring partner. Right. Josh got down there and then Joe had a look at us and he says, like, you're perfect for the Eubank style. And we'd done many a week sparring, and then after that I just liked the feeling, mate. I liked the connection that down there with people, and I said to them, geez, what, would you fancy training us, know what I mean, for the rest of my career? And they're like, no bother, man, let's go, know what I mean? So, and then I had my first fight, my comeback fight basically, wasn't it, after about 5 years, no long ago, in the big feed. And they were there, mate, so it's all good, it's all cracking on, know what I mean?
Fantastic. So see, were you Liam Smith's sparring partner in preparation for him fighting you, Bank? So you could pretty much say you were responsible for helping him come to that victory?
After it, he came up to us and he went, you asked the man with a plan, know what I mean? But we had some great sparring, mate. It was, see, that's what people would say. I remember Paul Smith, his brother, going like, by the way, you'd pay to watch that. And Paul Smith's a serious experienced fighter, know what I mean? He's his older brother. You'd pay to watch you spar 10 rounds of pure war, mate, know what I mean? Because I had the similar height to Eubank and that, and the similar reach, so you're trying to imitate a style, know what I mean? Right. Obviously he's trying to work on certain things, but it went in 4 rounds. It went
very quickly, and it was very dominating.
I couldn't have asked for a better result, mate. I even said on the interviews before it, I thought he'd beat him on points, because I think people forget how good a fighter Liam Smith is, a boxer, not just a fighter, know what I mean? But no, I done him, didn't he?
Aye, done the job, man. He definitely silenced a lot of critics. See, when you're doing their training, you're, like your Josh Taylor, your Liam Smith, like in the UK, probably at the height, at the top level, what is it you're able to extract for these sessions where maybe before, like when you're training at a lower level or in different gyms, is there stuff you've taken for them, you're like, wait a minute, I've not picked up on this before? So
as soon as I train, mate, and we all have slots, know what I mean? So I'll train, get my work in with Joe and Declan, and then see when Josh and Liam and all are training, no less me and Liam are sparring, but say they're training after me, boom, all I do is just sit and watch, mate. Right. And I always say this to the younger guys as well, because I'm 32 now, you know what I mean? As you said, mate, there's an expiry date and I've only got a few years left, but I'm 32 and there's a few young guys in the gym, and I always turn and say to them, where you going, man? Sit and watch, soak it in, learn. These are the best fighters on the planet. Josh Taylor, literally the best fighter on the planet, you know what I mean? Literally, isn't he? Watch that guy, you know what I mean? Because even to this day I watch him and just pick up wee things, mate, you know what I mean, and get advice off him. And same with the other guys, mate, get advice off them, you know what I mean, because you can never stop learning in this game. Never ever. You know what I mean, mate?
Totally. See the fact that like you said, like Josh Taylor, you say he's were through the Commonwealth squad and that. They get like you spent a lot of time, but he's right now he's like at the pinnacle of his career, and you've had a bit of adversity in your life, so you're just you're getting the momentum back up again. See, is it a part of you? Do you need to kind of force that kind of beginner mindset to as such where I trained with this guy, we were on an even keel, but now I'm kind of learning off him? Or do you need to kind of like, go out and read yourself and go, listen, right, I should learn off him? Because some people might look at that and be like, fuck, that should be me kind of thing. And I'm not saying that's how you should feel, but some people, you understand what I mean?
100%, mate, 100%. I actually get asked that. It was on an interview recently saying about like, you could have been at the same stage as Josh and that, but that's not true, you know what I mean? Because boxing is boxing, anything can happen, you know what I mean? He's done his thing. I always knew Josh got to be a superstar, even when we were on GB, mate. I knew he was got to be a superstar, and so did everybody on the squad, you know what I mean? Hopefully I can do all the same things as he's done, mate, you know what I mean? But sometimes I'm quite experienced in the game as an amateur. 135 fights in amateur boxing, the World Series, GB squad, so I've got a lot of experience there, you know what I mean? And I've got a good boxing brain on us. So I just appreciate having that guy about me every single day. I feel like I'm his big brother, right? Because we'll have laughs and all that, but I just feel like a big brother, know what I mean? Maybe because I'm bigger than him, know what I mean? But no, when it comes to boxing, mate, what he says, I'll listen. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And vice versa, mate. I'll give him advice as well. See, when he's shadowboxing, and he'll listen to me. You know what I mean? I'll say, oh, slip it that way, or try it this way. Because Josh isn't like, oh, I know it all. You know what I mean? He's one of the guys who wants to learn and get it right. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And he takes advice off anybody he trusts. You know what I mean? And I think he trusts me.
Aye, it's having that mutual respect, innit?
100%, mate.
And the
100%.
fact he's all trading with each other, especially in a boxing kind of sense, because he's a sparring, he's a literally, I don't know if you and Josh spar, but you see each other fighting, it's a different kind of sport where like egos do need to get left at the door, especially, and plus as well, if you're helping somebody in a training camp, you're looking for them to improve their game.
Definitely.
So honesty is key, and where applicable and that kind of stuff, and it works both ways. And as you say yourself, I mean, it's like, how many people go into a comeback fight and are working with this kind of level of talent to go back into it?
That's it, mate. It's no, it was a big thing for me as well, mate. Even going back down there or changing my life again, because I've got things I need to do up here. I want to obviously get access to my wee girl and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so that's hard. I'm going through all that, and obviously I'm in recovery as well, so I'm going through all that. But then what it was is basically going like that. Well, I need to make. This is my life, mate, you know what I mean, and I want to make something, you know what I mean. So I was going, right, I need to put myself in the best position possible to make it happen. And down there was the best place possible, because I'd done it all my career anyway. All my amateur career was doing Sheffield all the time with the GB squad and travelled the world. So I had to switch that mindset on and go, right, I'm going down there for my job, and that's it, you know what I mean, nothing else. But I think with age comes wisdom, doesn't it, mate, you know what I mean. I'm older now, I understand it a bit better now, you know what I mean, exactly what I'm doing and what I'm there for. You know what I mean?
Aye, that's the thing. The minute you turn 30, I think, man, there's just something your fucking head just clicks.
That's it, mate.
You know, I think with recovery as well. It's like I don't know, you get a much more retrospective mindset where you kind of look at the bigger picture. Then I don't know, in my personal experience, when I'm looking at stuff, I'm maybe looking at it through the lens of ego. Like if I'm making music and that kind of stuff, I'm making it so people like me. But it's no, and I'm like, why am I doing it? Because I love it.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? It's because you love it, and as you say, and you need to treat it like a job, because you turn up to like a job for the likes of myself. I'm doing, I work at a job that it's not my dream job. I'm just doing it to pay the bills, but I can turn up and do my job when I'm expected to. So when it comes to your passion as such, you need to treat that like a job. Turn up and do what's expected of you.
Definitely, mate. And that's what people always ask me, like, oh, you're a boxer, and oh, it's the best job in the world. And I go, aye, it is, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful for that, and I'm lucky to be able to do that. But I put some hard work in, mate, over the years, sacrifice, you know what I mean, over the years, and grafted, travelled the world, mate, you know what I mean? Went through the struggles, you know what I mean, for it, and put it in. And I'm not there yet, mate, you know what I mean? I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm on the right path to getting there. And as you said, mate, the ego does take care sometimes, doesn't it?
Especially in boxing as well. I think I would think that, because it take a strong mindset to rein yourself back in. Because see, if you're getting your sparring, you're batting everybody, no batting as such, but you're coming out of good, and it's like, it can get your head, like, for the likes of me, I'm fucking hate to be using myself as a comparison, right? But when I go in and hit the punch bag, see, after I go in and hit the punch bag a few sessions in a row, I'm like, I could fucking do, cunts.
That's it, mate.
The minute you get put in the ring with some cunt, you're humbled instantly. Wait a minute. So it's trying to rein that back in. But plus as well, you talk, like, when people say, look at it, it's the best job in the world, a lot of these people are just looking at the 12-round fight, or the however many rounds, or the first round knockout, and thinking, this cunt's just turned up, knocked their cunt out. They've looked at all the dieting, the fucking time away for family, time away for the dogs, time down south, everything, the time away for him. They've not looked at that. They don't incorporate that into their opinion.
They don't see all that stuff, mate. It's the stuff they don't see behind the closed doors, I say, you know what I mean? It's the training, the hours of training, the blood, sweat and tears, mate, literally greeting sometimes, you know what I mean? You've been training that hard. I mean, people only see the bright lights and the glamour when you walk out, don't you? And they go, he's there, you know what I mean? But you don't see all the hours of graft, mate. I mean, there is only a few percent that can do it, mate, you know what I mean?
Aye, that's what does separate people. That's what puts the greats into the great category. Let me stop you right there, pal. Hate to interrupt, but you need to shut your mouth right now and let the big man get yapping. This is a short message for our sponsors, Ross Harper Solicitors. Are you needing criminal representation in court? Do you feel that you and your lawyer don't have the relationship that you think you need for him or her to do the job that they need to get you off? I've got just the man for you. Nigel Scullion at Ross Harper Solicitors is a true embodiment of what it means to be a good lawyer. And I'm not just talking about in the courtroom. Nigel seeks to develop a personal relationship with his clients. He wants to keep you at the courtroom. He's not just wanting to fill his pockets. He wants to get you in, get you out, and set you on a path of freedom. Nigel has got his clientele at his heart. But don't get me wrong, in the courtroom, he is a stallion. He will fight tooth and nail to keep you from going up to the big boy house, or the big girl house, or the big them house. I've known Nigel a couple of months and I've developed a personal relationship with him. He's very relatable. I've met a good few lawyers in my time. Nigel's young and he's feisty and he's ferocious, but he's a friendly guy. Any support you need outside the courtroom, he will provide it for you. And Nigel's the kind of guy that will offer you the kind of support that doesn't need a legal aid certificate signed after it. He's a great guy and an even better lawyer. He comes from a long line of good lawyers. This man has got criminal defence in his genes. Just think about it. Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home? And if you've not got a home, Nigel's the kind of man that will help you find the correct support services you need, because his work goes far beyond the realms of inside the courtroom. This is a guy that cares about his clients, and he sees them as more than clients. He sees them as people. These people that have, for whatever reason, they've ended up in maybe a wee dark point in their life. He seeks to get them out it and keep them out it. So look no further than Nigel Scullion at Ross Harper Solicitors to support you and your needs in staying out the jail. 0800 11 12 13 is the contact number. If you want to get them online, it's www.rossharper.com. You can direct message him on Instagram at Ross Harper Scotland, TikTok at Ross Harper 61, and you can find him on Facebook at Ross Harper. To sum Nigel Scullion up in a short sentence, he's old school with a new energy. Check them out, people, Ross Harper Solicitors. But in the meantime, enjoy the podcast. What would you say the biggest challenge you've ever faced in being a boxer is? I'm talking about with the preparation, with the fighting, everything. What is the biggest thing you've ever encountered that has given you difficulty?
There's been a few, mate. There has been a few challenges, know what I mean? Like, the weight making's a big issue sometimes, know what I mean? Obviously,
What weight do you fight at?
I fight at middleweight, know what I mean?
What weight is that? Like
11 stone 6, it's championship.
So what do you walk about
I
at?
think what did I weigh in at my last fight? I weighed in at 11.8 or 11.9, so a few pounds over, which you're allowed to do. It's not a championship fight. I walk about high 12s, mate, know what I mean?
Really? So it's just a stonish you're kind of losing?
Aye, sometimes 2 stone, mate. I'm quite a big middleweight. I'm tall, I'm 6 feet, know what I mean? I've got a big frame about us. But the weight making, mate, can get people. Sometimes it's, listen, see all these boxers and that, they can look fantastic, mate. It's the night, see the day before and the day of that weight cut, mate, and you can sometimes you see them go in the ring and they're not the same person, mate. Know what I mean? It happened to Josh Taylor in his last fight, crashing weight, know what I mean? Josh knows that. But it's the weight cut, mate. A lot of the time is the difficult part for boxers. Know what I mean, mate? And the mental challenge, mate. The diet. Know what I mean? The being away from home. I've had that all my amateur career. Know what I mean? I've only had a short pro career. I'm a novice in the pro game. I'm only 4-0. Know what I mean? So I can only really speak on the terms of the amateur. Know what I mean? But it was obviously at a high level. Being away from home, travelling the world. Know what I mean? Time differences. All that plays a massive part, mate. Know what I mean? The Commonwealth Games was a great time for me. It was a challenging time because I put so much pressure on myself, but I was only 18 at the time. Put so much pressure on myself to win it and win a medal, know what I mean? And then when I came short, Cam Smith beat us, know what I mean, for a medal. I came short, I was as if my world had ended, but I hadn't, mate. It just started. Know what I mean? Because I went to GB and all that after that, so everything just went up. Know what I mean? But you don't realise that at that age, do you? Know what I mean? You're only young and you just think, oh, it's done, know what I mean? It's no. So there's been challenging times, mate, but I don't think I've came across the most challenging times yet. I think they're still to come.
That's exactly it.
I'm ready for them, mate. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it, because you can sit and go, all right, all the hard times are behind me now, man, but you just, and I think recovery plays into that as well. It's just, you're developing the skills. You're not asking for an easy life, you're asking for the tools in order to navigate a difficult one.
There you go, man.
That's it, fucking philosophy. But see, when was it the Commonwealth squad, was that what you're kind of the first glimpse into like fighting, competing at a higher level of representation? Was it the Commonwealth squad?
Probably, mate. Well, to be honest with you, before the Commonwealth Games, I went to the European Championships in Moscow.
Right.
And again, I was a baby. So when you go to senior European Championships at 18, mate, you're fighting guys at 40-year-old and all that. So I'm a kid, know what I mean? And that was like, that opened my eyes to it. And that was just the tournament before the Commonwealth Games. Know what I mean? Then a couple of months later, we went to the Games. I was like, wow, a big massive stadium holds 10,000 and all that, know what I mean? It was like, wow, that was probably my first insight to elite, what they call elite amateur boxing, know what I mean? The top level. And then obviously, but it prepared me well for the Commonwealth Games, know what I mean? So it was my first taste into that sort of senior men, fighting men, because before you're 18 you're still a junior, a cadet and that, so you're fighting guys the same age. When you turn senior, it's from 18 to any age, know what I mean?
Really? Is
so
it?
at 18 you're not a fully developed man yet, you're fighting a guy at 35 who's got fucking...
You're fighting Daz.
Exactly,
Fighting cunts Daz.
So that was my first insight to the high level, aye.
See, representing Scotland like, in a world stage at that point, was there any point, did you ever feel any pressure? Or like, see, you get that Scottish thing, like with Andy Murray, like if we use that an example, like he's Scottish, it gets that like that Scottish, or maybe it's even British kind of pressure where when they start representing like the country at a certain stage, they just get this bombarded with all this pressure and it can get to some of them. Did you ever feel that ever came?
Definitely. It was always pressure to perform, pressure to win. I put a lot of pressure on myself there. You know what I mean? Everybody was just proud of me to go and do that and actually be a part of it. Not many people for Govan, young boys get a dairy sort of things, you know what I mean, mate? So, but it was always more pressure on myself because I knew I could produce, but sometimes on the day it might not just be right, you know what I mean? Or it just might be a wee bit off, and that would always get me a wee bit. I'd put pressure on myself with that, you know what I mean? Because I know people can be the best in the world and they can have bad performances or just a crap day, you know what I mean? And boom, you're out of tournament. So that was a massive pressure for me to always perform at my best, mate. But we're only human. It doesn't happen.
Of course, man. It's part of being human. It's feeling pressure. Did you ever develop any skills to like cope with that, or did you just like every time you're competing, you just constantly that was a thing you constantly dealt with?
Well, see when we were on the Scotland squad, there was, I wouldn't say the facilities weren't fair for that. It was just sort of deal with yourself, mate. You know what I mean? The funding for the Scotland squad wasn't as good as the GB squad. You know what I mean? Right. The GB squad are all lottery funded up to the max. So we see when I go into GB, you can talk to psychologists and all that, and mind coaches and all that, mate, if you want, like to get your mind right for going to tournaments and all that. I didn't take full advantage of them when I was there because again I was an egomaniac when I was that age. I mean, I'm the best and I don't need things like that, and I'm all I'll beat anybody on my day. But when you think about it now as I'm older, the things would have been great, you know what I mean? Because we all were young, nervous wrecks, want to win and put so much pressure on ourselves, you know what I mean? It's hard to deal with that. You don't know how to deal with that age, you know what I mean? I didn't anyway, you know what I mean? I think a lot of the boys on the squad didn't, but we just went and done what we had to do, you know what I mean, mate?
I just get in and get the business done, man. Because some people, they perform under pressure, man, but I'm not one of the people, you know what I mean? And I've not even fought anywhere on any kind of stage, you know what I mean? But I have performed in front of crowds and stuff, and I do feel the pressure, but it's you do go against it, but sometimes it's there, and sometimes getting work for you. I feel it's trying to identify it, and obviously the way I'm viewing pressure is probably very different for the way you'd have used it. You'd have used it in a competition sense, where it is there's pressure because you've got somebody coming at you, you've got a chance, you could get fucking knocked out, you could get beat, you've got a lot riding on you. When I'm viewing it, I'm looking at it in the sense where, right, I'm expected to perform here, or I've rehearsed it. Usually when I'm performing tunes, so right, I fucking hope I don't fuck up these words. Don't make it a cunt. I'm on a stage, I'm going to look terrible. But I for years I let that kind of pressure fucking that fuck us up, and you know what I mean, and I would fuck it up, just pure talking myself at it. But I've learned to kind of re-identify it and just go, no, it's no pressure, it's excitement. It's excitement, energy. So use that energy and put that in your performance.
And it's that thing, like I get this as well, like, see the nervous butterflies in your stomach before you go in the ring. I always perform better with the level of opponent I box. So if I box a top guy, I'll perform better, and it's because of that nerves and that pressure, mate. You feel like, fuck, you get chin to you, I better be on my game, know what I mean? But I've learned over the years because there's performances I've had that I've been nervous 3 years before the fight, and I've just wasted so much nervous energy, and before I go in the fight I've got nothing left, mate. Right. So now I'm so relaxed up until I've learned to be able to do this to myself. So relaxed I don't even think about the fight up until I start getting my hands wrapped, and then I start switching on, mate.
Really?
It took years and years and years to practice that, mate, know what I mean?
I can imagine.
To get adjusted to that. I don't even talk about the fight, like the day of the fight. I'll just go about my daily business, mate, go a walk, not take the drugs out, whatever it is, know what I mean? And then once we get to the changing room, the hands start getting wrapped, that's when I start switching on.
Right, I see. I mean? So how did you manage to create that kind of mindset? See, when you say you don't think about the fight, because you know you're aware you've got a fight, what do you do? Do you just distract yourself?
Aye, mate, and do you know what it is? I just see it as like, I do this every single day, know what I mean? I do it every single day in the gym, know what I mean? Like, I'm good at this, so I don't, there's no, like, I know on my day what I can do, you know what I mean? So just relax. It's took years honestly, mate, it's took years even since I was a child to try and develop the skills. And I don't know what the skills were to develop it, I just know how to do it now, does that make sense? I just know how to just switch off, basically. But again, I'll say that, but I don't know what it's going to be like when I start fighting for titles and that, and 12 rounders and all that, so I'm excited to see if I can do it in they fights, you know what I mean?
When there is much more pressure.
But as you said, that's the excitement. It's no pressure, it's excitement. I'm excited to see that. But before, I'd have been like, oh fuck, oh no man, I don't wonder what that's got to be like. Already defeating yourself, you know what I mean?
Aye, of course, man, because you end up beating yourself when you get into the ring. Do you think your age has got a lot to do with that?
Aye.
The age, like maturity?
Aye. And it's that thing, it's like, what's the worst that can happen, right? I'll get chinned, I'll get knocked out, I'll get beat.
Aye.
That's the worst that can happen.
It's breaking it down, innit?
Aye, it's breaking it down. But when I was 18, it was the worst. Oh, get beat, I can't get beat. Oh, no way, I can't get beat.
The world's over.
The world's over, everything's ended when it's not. You know what I mean?
Aye, so it's just, and I think that is, because I kind of created that mindset as well, and I don't know if I keep getting back to recovery, man, because I don't know, see, because I turned 30 and you're probably about to turn 30 and on about the time you get into recovery, so I don't know if it's a combination of the two, and you're just kind of like, you know what, it's not the biggest deal if X, Y, Z happens, you know what I mean? The world isn't going to end, and once you realise that, you're a lot more like placid when you approach these kind of things.
Definitely, mate, and I think that, see, like, obviously came through what I've came through and get back into the game, which I never thought. I didn't even think I'd get my licence back, you know what I mean? And I did, and now I'm back fighting on it, so I'm a bit like, I'm the guy who's got nothing to lose, mate, you know what I mean? Because I didn't even think I'd be in this position now, so just be grateful for it and just enjoy it. Mate, you know what I mean? Instead of putting all that pressure, I need to be a world champion tomorrow and all this, I need to make millions of pounds, blah blah. Just enjoy it while it's here, you know what I mean?
Aye, because it is, and as you say, it's learning as well. When you look back at when you were like 18, that like the best days of your life. So's this. Because you're going to look back when you're like your 50s and that, when obviously you're at an age where you're not able to compete to the same level anymore. Like, I fucking missed the days. So exactly, it's but appreciating the here and now, innit?
100%, mate, 100%.
We must interrupt this podcast for a breaking announcement. There has been numerous reports in the area of a beauty bomb ready to glow up. And it's going to blow away you beauty therapists one appointment at a time. Why? Do you conduct business correspondence with clients via DMs? Are you sick of late cancellations costing you money? Do you just wish you could provide your service without worrying if the client has the cash at hand?
Oh, I need to go to the bank.
Well, I have a solution to your confusion. Glow Out is a service that aims to alleviate the stress involved between a client and the technician booking their appointments. Glow Out makes it easy for clients to see appointments, to book them and to pay. It takes deposits and it gets late cancellation fees, which means you won't lose out on any money. Clients can pay by card or using Apple Pay. Glow Out is also partnered with payment processor Stripe. Glow Out also helps you manage your bookings easily by using your calendar. The busier you get, the more stressful it is to keep track of who you've actually got coming in and when. Glow Out will help you do that. On Glow Out, you'll also be able to show off your portfolio, showing off your previous work so clients can check out what you've done in the past. It will also be implementing a feature in the very, very near to be future which will connect to your Instagram profile page. You will also be featured on the Glow Out website. You'll be visible to potential clients in the local area. You'll also have access to your own admin panel where you can see your account balance, generate reports, and turn your hobby into a business. Glow Out is basically a Just Eat for beauty appointments. Can't beat the convenience, can you? The mobile app for iOS and Android is coming soon. But in the meantime, for $5.99 a month, you will have access to all these features. But if you sign up using Fivo promo code, you will get the first 3 months free. You can't lack that for a bargain, can you? Give your business the glow up it needs to blow up. And glow up before you glow out. So see, when you were in the Team GB squad, see your personal life, were you still disciplined, still like, training like fuck, or was it a contrast? What was your life outside of the gym like?
No, we were full-time athletes, mate, you know what I mean, really full-time athletes. We went out now and again to Nando's and all that, the boys on a Wednesday night and get a wee something to eat. Aye. Joshua used to use his black card, you know what I mean? He had a black card.
Did he have a black card at that time, aye?
We used to always take us down and get free Nando's,
aye.
You know what I mean? Nah, mate, but we were disciplined, mate, and we were full-time athletes, and that's what we all paid today, you know what I mean? Because we all had a vision, a goal, and it's to be an Olympian, you know what I mean? Not everyone was an Olympian, but that was what we were all aiming towards. Did we have life outside that? Aye, because we went home on the weekends, and now and again we got a couple of weeks off after tournaments and stuff. and enjoyed herself, whatever it is people like today, mate. But it was always back. You need to be back on this date and you're back on it, know what I mean? Because we're all contracted, you're all signed a contract to be there,
so
mate,
it becomes a point where you're like, right, this is a duty now.
It's a duty, mate. It's a duty we need to do, and we need to train, and we need to compete, and we need to win to stay on this squad, know what I mean?
So where did life go for there?
So in 2015, once I left the squad, Monroe was born, and in 2014, at the end of 2015, I left the squad because I'd moved up to light heavyweight, done WSB, and I was struggling to make middleweight again, and obviously having a new baby and stuff, mate, know what I mean, was like, I'd done almost 5 years or something on the squad, know what I mean, I was like, to Rob McCracken, I was like, I think it's time for me to turn pro, know what I mean, and he released me, know what I mean, so I went home, turned pro, and had my first pro fight. It was on Josh Taylor's home debut, or his debut, and I broke this hand, mate, I snapped a tendon. On my debut.
Fuck's sake.
And I say to everybody, see when you have your debut, you want to have that run, mate, so like one fight and the next month you have another one and you're building it quick, you know what I mean, because you're pushing on the momentum, mate, aye. But I didn't have that, mate. I had to sit on the sideline for a good 6 months, you know what I mean, mate, and then I tried the old cocaine, you know what I mean, and before I know it, that gave me that buzz I felt at the time that I had when I was training and boxing, which I know now it didn't. It was just false, obviously. But at the time, I didn't know any better, and I thought, oh, this is great, you know what I mean? I'll just try this in there, I'll just take a wee bit of this in there, I'll be alright in a minute once I get back to training. And then before you know it, man, fucking did not spiral on it, mate, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, mate?
I know, of course.
It, man, before you know it, man. And I didn't know. Know what I mean? I had the disease of addiction. I didn't know it, mate, know what I mean? And I didn't know it until years and years later now, know what I mean? I didn't know that, mate. And that was the sort of downward spiral for me. In between that, I fought, and also in between all these years, I fought, and my hands get better. I fought in Bray Head on Josh Taylor, O'Hara Davis, but I fought on that. Like, I had periods of sobriety I wasn't using for like 4 months and all that, and then that night after I'd go out my nut, I mean, Josh would go out, know what I mean, I'd be getting out my nut, and he'd just be having a few beers, know what I mean, it'd be like that, mate, and then again, period of sobriety, moved down to Manchester, and that's when my addiction started. I didn't even realise at the time, but that's when the using really took over.
Really?
So I was isolated down there training, know what I mean? And before you know it, man, I was down there saying, oh, I'm away down to train for a week, but I was down there just isolating in the house using, mate, no go to the gym, know what I mean?
Really,
Mate?
aye?
Aye, mate, and just not even wanting to be here. And that was when it really started getting bad, and then came up the road, and before you know it, man, fucking I'm away, mate, know what I mean? And everybody's using's different, And my using wasn't just using, then go to your bed and then feel rough the next day and feel depressed. My using was no stop. I wasn't stopping.
Nah, days on end.
Using until I had to take myself to the hospital, and then get some Valium down to the hospital, and then go back and start using again. Know what I mean? I honestly don't know how I'm still here, mate, but obviously grateful I'm still here. Know what I mean?
Of course, man, of course. Because that's what I find as well. See, where you find a lot of like perfect examples like Conor McGregor. No, I mean, he's like right mad in the Charlie and now. It's like, I always wondered, I was like, why is it that you find a lot of ex-fighters as such have such an affinity like with taking cocaine and that? And I remember big Jay McFarlane, you know, Jay? He taking what he's like that because like with cocaine it produces all that dopamine. It's probably the closest thing you can get to the victory of winning a fight. So you're saying that did do that for you?
Done that for me at the time, mate. Just at the time,
obviously.
At the time, mate, honestly, at the time, and then before you know it, mate, it's one's not enough, two's not, and then it's no, you're not even thinking about that anymore, you know what I mean? You're just full blown using, mate, you know what I mean? And it's, it was horrible times, mate, you know what I mean? Couple of attempts on my life and all that, mate, you know what I mean? Obviously committing some serious crimes and just daft stuff, mate, you know what I mean? Obviously, prison, wow, I'm like, see if I... 5 years ago to now, I'm like, wow, it was like a roller coaster, mate. You know what I mean? It was crazy, man. The stuff I put myself through, and obviously I don't look at it and put my head down and go, oh, fucking, that's so bad and all that. It was bad at the time, mate, but I've out the other side, mate, and I've realised and I've recognised it. You know what I mean, mate? And I can do something positive with it.
Exactly, mate. You're setting a prime example to people that go through that, because I find a lot of people that maybe go through addiction, they go into jail and come out and that, they think life's over, and you probably felt like that as well. But I can imagine, let's see, I'll get on to asking about obviously your time in jail and that, but I can imagine when you ended up in jail or around about that point in time, you're probably fucking hell looking back at, as you say, in the GB squad and that, like, like competing with the top level athletes, travelling all over the world to ending up in the jail, you're like, fuck, it's done. So I can imagine.
I remember sitting on a bus, obviously, and I just got sentenced sitting on a bus going up to Low Moss, and I had that realisation, mate. I had that, because you've got time to think. As you're there in jail, innit? Time to think, know what I mean? I was sitting on a bus going, that's it, man, I've done it now, know what I mean? I had thoughts of like Josh Taylor and all my pals and my wee lassie, and I'm going, they're all away living the best life, like obviously pushing on with their careers and doing amazing things, and people run about me, I know, and all that, and I'm like, I'm sitting on this bus, man, I'm like, I've done it now. But I did have a good mindset there, mate, like, right, I'm going to get this done and then get back to it, know what I mean? But it wasn't that easy, know what I mean? Everything seems easier at the time, it wasn't that easy, mate, know what I mean? It's not as if, you know what I'm talking about, bro, jails, shite. It's pish,
so
mate,
bad,
anybody's like, it's a canter and all that. I ain't bother, mate, know what I mean? It's a canter if you've got fuck all, know what I mean, on the outside, aye, but when you've got a life and family and good things on the outside, mate, and it's not a canter.
No, definitely, and having all that taken away from you. Do you mind me asking about like the circumstances that led to you getting the jail?
Aye, mate, I remember I was on a mad bender, mate. Actually, me and you used one night in Stallions.
Was it that weekend?
Nah, it wasn't that weekend. It was just.
Oh, it was just off the back of that?
It was off the back of that, mate.
Right, I see.
And so that time that we used together, mate, I was on spiraling on a bender for like 2 months, mate, non-stop every single day, mate. Wee Alex will tell you, mate, because he was involved. I actually dragged him in, mate, and actually fucking, know what I mean, I need to make amends to him that day, man, because it was bad. It was bad, mate. I was dragging him into things every single day, like, what am I going to use and all that, and he probably didn't want to say no, know what I mean? And it was after that, mate, I ended up with my nut for like 3 days, and I was through in Shannon, and I went into the shop in Shannon, I had an allocation with the guys in there, and they were probably at their right, mate, to try and pat was at the shop, know what I mean? I was at my nut, and me being me, man, I had a locker in that pocket, and a half bottle of wine in that pocket, and gear in that pocket, thought I was fucking the man, and they I think I tried to attack the guy when he walked out of the shop, and then 3 of them bounced out and had me on my back, but they weren't really doing anything, mate, to be honest with you, so I was sort of laughing before and 2 seconds later I got whacked with a cosh, and that's when the mad he'd switched on, like, oh man, I better do something here or I'm going to get done, and then I just bounced up, mate. I couldn't get a lot back in my pocket, know what I mean? Had a half bottle of wine, just put it right up, mate, and just had the end it and just opened them up, mate, know what I mean? To the face it was, know what I mean, just opening it up constantly. I think the boy was in a bad way, and then obviously I got off and I was on my toes for a good bit, know what I mean? And then eventually just hauled myself in, mate, know what I mean? Because I thought, this has got to catch up to, it's got to get worse, mate. So it was a mad time, mate, know what I mean? Aye, it was all over that Facebook and the paper and all that. I had pictures of me put my nut in that shop. I was like, wow, I've done it now, know what I mean? There's no getting away. Or the evidence pictures and that I seen, man, I was like, fucking hell, man, this was something at CSI, know what I mean? That was heavy. So that, mate, a couple other charges, mate, a Firearms Act and serious assault on the police. That was a serious assault with permanent disfigurement. There was a drugs charge on there, there was a couple, driving for a licence, driving for insurance, all that, boxing with the police non-stop, mate, honestly, fucking mental. Hell, honestly, sort of laughing at me, aye, slinging a couple of cotters about and all that, mate.
Oh, really? Was that when they came to jail with you?
Cotters got to my dad's door, my dad's opened the door and he phoned me after, he went, that Cotters came to the door and he's got a hairy black eye. I got something on my boot, know what I mean?
Fuck's sake.
For the jailers, but aye, mate, it was a number of charges, mate, on that sheet when I looked at it, and I went off. Managed to get dropped down to 4 of them, know what I mean? And I got 2 years, mate, know what I mean? So
that's one of the ones, isn't it,
mate?
man?
Yeah, I took on the chin, bro. I was walked in my bag, mate, get sent up the road, know what I mean? That was it, up to Low Moss for 21 months.
So what was your first day in jail like?
Weird, mate. Weird, man. See, because I'd never been to jail before. Never even. Just. It was weird, man.
Did you feel you walked into it was like, what the fuck is happening here, or did you just feel you just adapted?
At the beginning, mate, when once I got inducted and went up the stair and that, it was a bit like a jungle in it. Know what I mean?
Where were you?
Low Moss.
Low Moss, right.
Every cunt flying to ourselves. I got dubbed up with a boy, not for Stirling. He was alright, know what I mean? And then when you get, like, say, your tea time, or whatever it is, your break, know what I mean? Like the morning break, man, you just hear them all swarming out the doors, man. Just darting about, looking to get their bits in it, know what I mean?
Getting their business.
Who's got legal, and all that, who's got, I'm at the time, I'm like, what's legal, what's this, what's that, know what I mean? But you quickly adjust, mate, to what these things are, don't you, know what I mean? And, but you own any meds and all that? Meds all fucking healed, I'd have to get away from me, know what I mean? Fuck's sake. But aye, mate, it was weird. I adapted quite quickly, mate. It was weird to see at the beginning, mate. I was like, right, how can I get out here quicker? Where's my tag papers and that? I'm getting out of here, I'm not staying here. quickly adjusted, mate, to realise that, no, I'm here.
Aye.
I'm here for the long run now. So
Aye, just need to
sit tight.
accept it. Just need to accept it. That's what you kind of need to do. It's one of the things. It's adapt or die.
That's
Because
it,
it's
mate.
not as if you go, oh, I don't like this a lot. Right, mate. On you go. I'll just let you
exactly.
know they're like that. You're doing the time when you
You
like
better
it.
like
no?
it and that's it,
Aye,
innit,
so
mate?
you just need to adjust it,
Aye.
man. So see, obviously you had time to reflect in there. Did you use that time like, right, what am I doing? Was that, do you think, your first moment of clarity, do you think you were having
Aye,
there?
it was a funny man, mate, because see the day I get sentenced, see next day, it was in the paper, wasn't it, the Daily Record, and obviously the boys get the papers up there, and they're like, you're in the paper, not you're a boxer, this, this, and oh, do you do that thing, mate, like, all that stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, aye, so they all started swearing about, do you know this boxer, do you know that boxer? So that sort of got people coming to talk to us, you know what I mean? And a positive light, you know what I mean? And, but aye, mate, I just adapted to it, mate, you know what I mean? I end up going like, right, I need to get a job in here, you know what I mean? Because what can you get when you're a canteen? It was at a school you could get, you know what I mean? I was like that, and then you get a canteen food, and I'm like, ah, fuck's sake, man, how's that most of the days a week, you know what I mean? I'm like, right, I'm getting a job in here. End up like, I couldn't like, listen, I'll get money put into your account, man, so we can get me a canteen, you know what I mean? End up going to just, I'm going right, gym induction in it. End up getting a pass on there.
In the
That was
gym?
good. No, just up
in
the
the hall?
section, mate. Aye, that was alright, mate, 'cause I was out most of the time, man.
Right.
Cleaning and all that stuff in it. That was good. I needed a pass job, mate, man. I was like, I'm not getting dubbed up near for these years, man. Get out to fuck, mate, you know what I mean? Especially when I was dubbed up with somebody. Then I get my gaffed, didn't I? Know what I mean? Single. Aye, know what I mean? Sorted out all the posters, pictures away and all that.
Cut it right out.
Aye, high fives, not cuts of high fives like that. Buy it off you, get money transferred to you now. Know what I mean? Just getting heavy kitted out, mate, 'cause I knew I was there for the long run.
Aye, you
just
need to
cuts
make
are
it
in and
cosy.
out here. You know,
Aye.
cuts are in and out, know what I mean? Cuts are like in and out for 2 months and they're back in. Not. I'm like, ah, fuck's sake, man. I remember a guy was in there, came in 4 times, mate, with the time my full sentence done. In and out 4
Fuck's
times,
sake,
mate. He was
man.
up the same hole, kept coming up the same hole and all. End up dying, the boy, you know what I mean? Last time he was in, he went out and we heard he'd died. Aye. Aye, mate, it was mental, man. But it was, listen, it is what it is. You end up knowing people who know you fair about and all that, and the boys, know what I mean? So you end up getting connected to people who are the users and all that, who are the using, who are the doing things just at the gym and all that. So it was alright, end up knowing a few boys in there. It was not too bad, mate. I wouldn't say it was good, because I was only a 7 month in a lockdown as well, wasn't I? Because of the lockdown.
Oh, but you in just at a lockdown, aye?
Last 7 months of my sentence was basically a lockdown, mate. It was about 8 months, because I didn't get a visit for 7 months, mate. I didn't get a visit, mate. On that Zoom and all that, and they kept cutting out and all that. Kids were going mad. That's when everybody started, the lockdown happened, and every company was going mental, because they were getting dubbed up all day, you know what I mean? And no break time or anything. Couldn't connect with people and all that. That was hard for some boys. Luckily, I had the pass job, mate, so I was out and about. You know what I mean? But that was difficult times, mate. I felt for some people in there, mate. You know what I mean? Some people wanted to take their life and all that, mate, because they weren't maybe speaking to their family and weren't getting connected with anybody, you know what I mean? Or getting letters and all that, you know what I mean? It was hard for people, mate. I felt for some of the boys, you know what I mean? But aye, that is what it was, mate. You know what I mean? I was just happy the day I walked out of that fucking jail, and I'm not coming back here.
Aye, totally, man. Because see, when you say about like the guy, like somebody was in 4 times during the one time you were in, I was actually thinking about this earlier on, because I was thinking, because when I was in the jail, it was weird. You get people, you'd maybe start your sentence at the same time, and you kind of get to know them, and they get the big build up for them getting out. And then like 2 weeks later they'd be back in, you're like, fuck's sake. But then they'd be out quite quickly again, then back in, then out, then back in. You're like, ah, right, at this point, are you even buzzing to get out?
Yeah, I know.
Surely by this point you just must be like, ah, I'm back.
I think a lot of them like it, mate, and because they're all just getting done for petty crimes and a bit of shoplifting up the road for 3-4 weeks and all that, and then they get a detox, get
stability to some people's routine,
you know what
and
it is?
it's 3 meals a day and a roof over heat sometimes, and they go
a wee bit of canteen or whatever it is they get, you know what I mean, mate? Some, as you know, mate, some people go there, mate, and they've got fuck all, mate, and I realised that when I was in jail, you know what I mean? I didn't realise that, mate, you know what I mean? I went, by the way, some of these guys have got nothing, mate, you know what I mean? Coming up to you like, any chance you can fucking geese a fucking Mars bar and that. I'm like, I ain't no bother, man, fuck's sake, man, can't starving, you know what I mean, mate? It's, aye, it opens your eyes to a lot of things, mate, you know what I mean? Definitely. But it's not that a nice place either, is it?
Exactly, you can learn all these things in a lot less fucking authoritarian environment, man.
Exactly, mate. So,
what would you say is the biggest positive you were able to take for your sentence?
do you know what, mate? Because you've got a lot of time to think in it, it's just a lot of reflection on life, mate, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not untouchable, mate. I can't just run about and do things and think I'm never going to be any consequences for them, mate. You know what I mean? That was a big thing to me. And again, mate, like, what am I doing? What am I doing, mate? You know what I mean? I've got a gift, mate. I've got a talent, mate. You know what I mean? I've got a beautiful family. I've got a beautiful wee girl. You know what I mean? A beautiful girlfriend. and parents and all that who don't want to see me here, mate, know what I mean? And that hurt home, mate, know what I mean? Because, again, my mum and dad and all the people in about us just see me as a professional athlete and going to shoot for the stars, mate, and then boom, before you know it, you're locked up, know what I mean?
Aye.
It's no good, know what I mean? So there was a lot of lessons in there, mate, know what I mean? A lot of life lessons, mate. Just don't take life for granted, I think, mate, know what I mean? Because if you go down the wrong path, mate, you're locked up in there, and as you said, mate, you can't chap your door and go, I've had enough of day, what, just let us out. You know what I mean? You're doing it and that's it, man.
That's it, man. So you need to get used to it, man. Plus, as well, when you say, like, it's a roller coaster at that point, you're not the only person on that roller coaster. Your family's on it, your wedding's on it, your missus, they're all up doing it with you. And that's the people you realise as well, man, because you've got all these people, but like, when you go to the jail, a lot of people are like, so-and-so's in the jail, like, fuck's sake, but they've got their own lives they need to worry about, know what I mean? As much as, know what I mean, like, you've got good relationships and that, but your family, they're in the jail with you, because they're like, wondering how's he getting on, this and that. Then, as you say, they've got the aspirations for you, like, fuck, I hope he comes back out and does well, and they've just got, they're going through it and all, man. See, did you sit and have a think to yourself, as you say, when you were in the jail, you're like, listen, I've got a talent, I've got a lot of stuff going for us. Did you have a moment you're like, right, did you set a plan of action? Right, I'm getting out, I'm going to do this. What was the plan mate,
it was basically, I'm going to get out. I'm going to set up shop and get a gym and start coaching fighters. Know what I mean? That was my head at the time. And I done that. When I came out of jail, I done that, know what I mean? I done that and got into the coaching, got into the PTs, know what I mean? And training people and I loved it, mate. Honestly, I loved it. I went, I found, because I'd chucked the game, I'd boxing, I went, I had that head on, I'm too old now, I've done too much shite, know what I mean? I won't get my licence back, right? I'll try a different channel, but I'll still be involved in the sport, know what I mean? Training people, coaching, PTing, know what I mean? And so I went down that route, mate. I had a good head on as well, know what I mean? I went, this is what I'm going to do, know what I mean? Because I've got a lot of knowledge in the game, so I can coach good fighters. But fucking hell, mate, that fire still burns in there just to fight, mate, know what I mean? It did, mate. And that was, I remember sitting one day on the couch watching two middleweights on Sky, and my partner Shannon went like, I roasted two of them, and she looked at me and laughed. She went like, you're not done yet, are you? I went, no, my fuck. And the next day I got in contact with a coach up here and we started training again, mate. And just shows you for then to now, mate, I'm back fighting, I've got good things happening, and look where I'm at in Liverpool now. So it just shows you, mate, you just never know what's around the corner, mate. You just never know what's around the corner, mate. And don't give up, mate, know what I mean? And your hopes and dreams, mate. That's one thing I'll say to the youth, mate. Do not give up, man, because I was about to give up, know what I mean? I wasn't going to get up and put my head in between my tails, know what I mean? I was going to choose a different route, but I've already accepted. Once I'm done in the game, I'm going to go into that route anyway. Know what I mean? Coach fighters and all that. So, but I'll just make the most of the time I've still been an active fighter.
Of course, because that's what I was saying earlier, like being an active fighter, that's got an expiry date on it, especially, like, you could maybe fight into your late 40s, but you're not going to be at the level you're at now. You're only going to be at this moment in your time. In your 30s, a lot of fighters find that is in their prime,
mate.
And plus as well, as you say, you can go back to coaching, you're always going to have that knowledge.
You can coach.
Exactly.
Know what I mean, mate?
And plus as well, you're working, as you say, you're working with some of the greats in the game today. So if anything, you're almost like doing your research, you're building your CV.
Learning every day, mate.
Exactly. So you're going to be taking that stuff. That knowledge will always stay with you. See, when you go out of jail though, because obviously drugs was a big massive part of how you ended up in the jail. See, when you get out, was it straight into recovery, or did you feel...
No, mate, no, I didn't know about recovery at the time. No, that I didn't know, I just never thought it. Know what I mean? I thought when I got out of jail I'd cracked it. I was a year clean sober. I thought I was. So we'll get to that. I thought I was. Right. So I thought I was a year clean sober because I wasn't taking cocaine in jail. Know what I mean? Because it's not a drug you get in jail. Know what I mean? It's no, you know that, mate. It's not a drug you get in jail. You can probably get it, but it's no one that comes about every day.
It's no easily accessible.
So I thought I'd cracked it, mate. I came out of jail almost 16 stone, mate. Know what I mean? It was massive. I just pumped the weights and eating hunters.
Because there wasn't much. I don't think there was much. I've not been to Lomos gym, but I don't think there was much facilities for like boxing.
Exactly, that mate. So I've just pumped this massive, mate. But I quickly realised I didn't like that, and then. But I used again, mate. When I came out of jail, know what I mean? I used on my wee sister's birthday, mate. Her 21st, mate. I used on that night, mate, and it was horrible, man. Know what I mean? I used, mate. I don't know why, mate. I drank and used, mate, and again, today I know why. Know what I mean? Because I hadn't done any recovery in jail. I just went solo. But it wasn't like I went solo because I wasn't any access
there
to
wasn't
get
anything
drugs,
there to
mate, so I
take,
couldn't
is
have
it?
any option. But again, as I said, I thought I was clean sober in jail, but I was taking cocos and drinking hooch and all that, you know what I mean?
Aye,
And
aye.
so you're not really, you know what I
Nah,
mean? You're
nah.
still trying to get a charge. Didn't smoke legal and that wasn't my thing, you know what I mean? That's not my sort of thing. But so when I came out, I used again, mate, you know what I mean? But I didn't use as bad as I used before. I chucked it after one day, but the demons are still there and that thought's still there, you know what I mean? I triggered that allergy off again, mate, you know what I mean, I think. And then I think I used again a wee while later. So I used a few times when I came out of jail, mate, you know what I mean? That's how I'm saying I'm 16 months clean sober now. You know
well,
what I mean?
admit.
So, aye. And a lot of people say, like, it probably wasn't my worst time of using, like the last time I used, but it was worse. It was the worst mentally for me, mate. You know what I mean? I was broken, mate. I was on my knees. I needed help, mate.
That sense of shame.
Aye, because I'd already went through the doors to recovery and went and done that thing, got a sponsor and all that, and was just lying to my sponsor. Fuck's sake, I picked a year chip up the first day I walked into recovery, mate. A year chip, you know what I mean? I was like to myself, man. Then she went like that to my missus, what you talking about a year? You used like 4 months ago, and I'm like, I know it was only one time, all that stuff is different. So I'm talking, mate. I had no clue. I had no clue, mate. Know what I mean? I had no clue about it. Sponsor that, then went back out the door, mate, because I couldn't. I said that thing. I'm not the same as these people. I don't use the way they use, and I've not used the same drugs as them, mate. Know what I mean? When the day I know that isn't the case. Know what I mean? And, but I used in the last time, then I threw a towel in again, mate, and decided that I was on my knees, mate, and it was this time where I wasn't got to be here, 100%, mate. Know what I mean? It wasn't even just the using; it was the mental side, mate. I was broken, mate. I was broken internally. I was broken, man. And then I went to recovery and took it serious, mate. Done my 1990, mate, and worked my steps, mate. Know what I mean? And I went through the programme, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life, mate. Honestly. Step 4, mate, that's just amazing, mate. Honestly, I mean, you experience it all, man. It's amazing. And I mean, spiritual experiences and all that. I thought, what, spiritual experiences? Like, fucking lot of shit and all that. Before you know it, man, I phoned my sponsor, like, just a spiritual experience and all that. He's like, I was like, listen to this. He's like, that's a spiritual experience. Know what I mean? He's like, keep it going, mate. Keep that vibe, know what I mean? And amazing, mate. Recovery's amazing, man. Honestly, mate, I feel proud every day. Or every week and every time I go into a meeting, mate, you know what I mean? Connecting with people who are getting clean sober, you pure buzz for people, mate.
Aye.
But before I didn't even think of things like that. I'm like, what, man, my junkies and all that. I'm talking to cunts like that. Pure heavy, thought I was better than people and all that, and ego playing the part in it. When life's not like that, mate, today, mate, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful, man.
Aye, and plus as well, see, when we talk about like the ego and that kind of thing, because with recovery, like it's all about dissipating the ego, because the ego is what brings you back to using drugs. Ego will kill you. That's exactly it. It'll kill you, man. And see, but the thing is, it just doesn't. Ego isn't just relegated to, or the loss of ego isn't just relegated to in a recovery sense. That transcends into your personal life, as you say, your professional life, your boxing sense. So see the skills you learn. I've realised that I know even my interactions in that, and I'm still pure early recovery, but I'm noticing it now. I'm like, and this is shit. It's went on for as long as I can remember when it started, know what I mean? Because obviously it's a lifetime build up, I suppose, with ego and that kind of thing as well. So I remember, see you talking about your first meeting. I went into the very first meeting, I was the same, like fucking going end up in a mad man. It wasn't even a few days, it was just like one night, but I was fucked after it. And went to a meeting and see that way, I just didn't have a clue. And see that way you say like, oh, my name's Jordan, I'm an addict. I'm like that, because I used to be every day with the gear, but at this point I was only like every second weekend or something. So I was like, I'm a recovered addict, and they actually paused and went, hello, like, alright Jordan, like, and I was like, I see that amendments, I've done all that shit. I've said sorry to cunts and all that. I want to see if I look back now, see if I was sitting in a room with some cunt saying that, you'd be like, listen to him, man. But we all go through that. I've yet to meet the person that walked into recovery the first day and then just took to it right away, because it's fine. It's so different for the way like we've came from, like the kind of scheme background and obviously that kind of thing, and like been in the jail and all that kind of stuff, because it's totally alien, but in a good way, because you're doing it. I remember somebody saying to me, like, everybody should do a 12-step program, even if they've not got like drug issues. Obviously that's not going to be the case, because it's a lot of work, and you're not going to do it if you think I don't need this. But when you take, you learn, you realise it's not about drugs, it's about you as a person.
But it's aware. That's what I'm sorry, mate.
On you go, mate.
I always say that to people, and I go like, it's not all just about drinking drugs, and they go, how about singing about it? Because the programme's about changing your way of thinking, and we can all do that after drinking drugs. Like, if I do the 12 steps, alright, or I get clean and sober, sorry, don't do the 12 steps, I get clean and sober, I don't change the way I'm thinking, I'm still going to do the same arsehole I was. Know what I mean? I need to be able to change the way I think, mate, know what I mean? And the day I've done that and gone through recovery, there's so much more to it than just drinking drugs, mate, and you know that, mate, and it's fucking brilliant, man. Like, I say to so many people, I'm gutted that you can't do the 12 steps. Well, you can, but you're it's no saying to people, I'm gutted you're not an addict, because I don't want anybody to be an addict, right? But it's like, I wish you had the experience of the 12-step program, see what it does for you, you know what I mean, and your way of thinking. You know what I mean? Because that's all we need is to get off drugs and drink, is to change your way of thinking, mate, you know what I mean? And it's a lot more than that, mate. It's amazing, man. Fucking love it, man.
I know, and you learn so much about it. See, a lot of the stuff you learn off it it's pure, it's because you're not learning for something in a school environment. You're not going to uni to learn this shit. You're learning for people's experience.
Oh, aye.
And like, it's so strange, because when I'm in it, I'm like, how does every cunt know about this?
Exactly,
How is this no pure common knowledge? And you go into YouTube, you'll find countless videos telling you about it, but unless you're in that environment, or like you're kind of brought to that, it's like you're not going to look for it, because it's like, if you're like, if you don't think you've got a drug addiction, or if you're not looking to get help, it's only that kind of fucking sect of people that are going to be looking for this knowledge. And at first, as you say, it's all about you going to the meetings at first. You're not going like, right, I'm going to go and do a 12-step programme right away. You're going like, right, what's a 12-step programme, right? What are they talking about? You're learning.
Learning about it, mate, And how many times you went into rooms and heard your story?
Aye.
I mean, I said it the other day in a video, it was like, a guy was sharing, and I was like, and it's happened to me a few times, but this one was a belter, know what I mean? And you always get, because I always think, like, these people don't use like me, they've never used like me, they're as nasty as me, or they use different drugs than me, and then you've got a guy sharing, man, I'm like, mate, you just done the exact same things I done, know what I mean? Like, used the exact same way I used. It's identification, mate, innit, with other people, that's when you can relate to other people, and then that's when you realise you're not alone, mate, know what I mean? And everybody, we all do the same things, we all think the same way when we're using, mate, know what I mean? Doesn't matter what drug it is, once you put one in, fucking can't stop, mate, know what I mean? That's the way I'm anyway, personally, mate, know what I mean? Personal experience, just can't stop, mate. Once never enough, ten's never enough, mate, know what I mean? So grateful today, mate. Grateful to be clean sober, innit?
It's amazing, and especially what you're doing right now is like a testament to like what you've done to make the change in your life in order to sustain like a productive life for yourself as well. It's like before, like in your using days, it's fair to say you wouldn't be where you're at now.
No.
For 100%. Like even if you were able to like still compete as such, it would nowhere. You probably wouldn't be at the level you're at now, because you're able to give that focus, that commitment, and it knocks half momentum. I think, see, like using it, I think we can say any drug, for me personally, with gear, or even drinking leads to gear anyway, so they come hand in hand together. So it's like, I always compare it like a Jenga block. Like you're fucking, it's like that kind of balancing act. It's like, as the further on you go, you're pulling it to pieces, and it just crumbles when you get on it.
Big time, mate. 100%, mate. 100% relate to that one. Know what I mean?
Times before, I know I've been able to, but when I could stay off it for a month. I'm not an addict, but see, for that month, all I'm thinking about is smoking a joint or doing something. It's like, it's no using every day. It's the thought.
Changing the way of thinking, it.
That's exactly it.
Change that thinking. Know what I mean?
And it's a fucking long month, because you think, okay, I've been off it a month, and you're like, my heat's been up my ass for a month.
Exactly.
Know what I mean?
What have you done? Know what
Exactly,
I mean?
man. And you've sit pure, you're raging and all that. And I've noticed that even in early recovery, I'm still in early recovery now, but really when it first started, the first few months, somebody told me it was like emotional growing pains. That somebody compared it to, because that's what it's like, because you're learning, you're having to deal with your emotions, because a lot of times when you're pissed off fuck it, I'll have a beer, or smoke a joint or something, or any kind of like, emotional irregularity you had to deal with, you would, more often than not, you would drink, or you'd be like, oh fuck it, I'm getting on it this weekend. But now you need to learn to kind of be at ease with these emotions, because you don't get rid of them,
and be able to deal with them, have the tools to deal with them.
Aye.
You know what I mean? That's what you get in recovery. You'll get the tools to deal with all your different emotions, you know what I mean? Especially going through the 12 steps, you'll know it, as you said, that moment in thought, and you go, I'm pissed off this day, instead of going, because we all just turned to the boat or turned to the bag, you know what I mean? We all did, you know what I mean? That's what I done as well. It's like, fucking raging today, I'll get a bag of gear, you know what I mean? That was my thing, but I get the tools to deal with it today, mate. Go like, no, what am I doing today? Or what's happening in my life today that's making me feel like this, you know what I mean? Take a minute, meditate, you know what I mean? Get my meditation going, mate. Get connected, boom, on the phone, man. I never used the phone so much in my life, mate, to my other fellow addicts, you know what I mean, mate? Because I need to, because the day, my life depends on it today, mate, you know what I mean?
And that's that, having that humility as well, to admit, like, wait a minute, I can't do this myself. So before, you'd have probably been like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. doing it yourself doesn't last very long, does it?
Very long, mate. And another thing as well, see the addict, the title, know what I mean? That was a big thing for me as well at the beginning. Like, an addict, because I just related addicts to heroin addicts and because that were lying in the street. That's what I related addicts to, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know any better. So when they said, like, yeah, I'm not a fucking addict, no, I can chuck that gear and all that. But see, the day I accepted I was, mate, the day I started living life again, mate, know what I mean? And the day I'm proud to say I'm an addict, mate, know what I mean? I'm in recovery, know what I mean? I'm a recovered addict, if you want to say, know what I mean? But again, I still need to work my shit every single day to keep me clean and sober. Aye. Because if I don't work that shit, I could go back out the door using again. That's the last thing I want, mate, know what I mean?
Nah, it's easy. It happens to cunt because you realise there's no a fucking expiry date on that as such. Where right, you do so many years, then that's yours. Cunts that do like 25 years sober and end up back out the door. Exactly. And it could be your last time out the door. So you find a lot of people that go out the door, they never come back.
Never come back, mate. So many people who's happened to recently. I know a few people. Know what I mean? A close friend in recovery. Know what I mean? Just lost his life. Know what I mean? It was over a year clean sober and just back out the door and used one night, mate, and now he's not here, mate. So that's when I say to people, recovery's amazing and all that, blah blah. They get all happy about it, and I go, but no, but it's fucking real, by the way. No. Because one day can be the end of it. Know what I mean? Like, it's serious stuff. Know what I mean? It's an amazing program, but it's definitely a serious program as well that you need to take seriously if you want to live. Know what I mean?
100%, mate. So see, before you like officially hang up the gloves in a competing sense, what would you like to achieve?
Well, every boxer's wants to be a world champion, mate, don't they?
Of course.
They want to fight for a world title and they want to win a world title, and that is obviously my ambition, my goals. I never ever set myself below that because I would never. I know what my abilities are capable of. Know what I mean? But I know what it takes to get there on the basis there's a lot more than just fight for the world title, promoters, all that stuff, right? So one step at a time for me today, but by the end of the year or the beginning of next year, I'd like to be in a position to fight for the British title. I'd always love to fight and win the British title, mate, know what I mean? And that's a big title. And then whatever happens for there, will happen for there, mate, know what I mean? I'm one of the guys today, mate, I live life on life's terms, mate, and I've just got to go fight by fight. But before, I'd been like, right, 5 year been a world champion, and see if I wasn't 5 year been a world champion. Oh fuck, that's done, it's over, life's shite, no, I've got the worst life ever. When the day I'm just like, next year will be, if we can get around about that area, that's good. And then the year after, because it's all on time, innit, mate, know what I mean? There's stages to it, know what I mean? But do you know what it is, mate? I'm just loving being back, training, a full-time athlete, and amongst great people, mate, and doing what I love again, know what I mean? Because sometimes I think I took it for granted, mate, know what I mean? That I had a talent and all that, you do take it for granted, know what I mean? Instead of actually going, do you know what? Make the most of this in life, because you need to.
Aye, no, totally, 100%. But plus as well, see when you go back to when you were looking like 5 years from now, I want to have that world title and that kind of thing, because when you're thinking that far ahead, you're not appreciating the moment, because you're like, this isn't, I want to be there, but I'm not happy here. But if you're not happy here, you're not appreciating these moments. As you say, then you look back like, I should have appreciated that more.
I don't want to do that today, mate, because I've done it a lot in my life, you know what I mean? I've done that a lot in my life, because we all want to be at the top of the mountain, man, before we can even walk, you know what I mean? Aye. Step by step, mate, day by day, what you in a rush for? Exactly. I'm not in a rush anymore, mate, I'm 32 now, I ain't in a rush to get older anyway. But 10 years ago, I was like, can't wait, I'm 29, man, so I'll be world champion, all that stuff. No, I'm not in a rush anymore, mate. Slow it down a bit.
That's the wise of heading your shoulders, isn't it, mate?
That's it, mate, know what I mean?
So we see, like, outside of competition, like, the day you do finally hang your gloves up, whenever that might be, have you got, like, a plan in mind, like what you want to do outside of boxing, like in terms of like maybe a business as such, or any passions of that?
There's definitely a few business options there for me, but the first thing is to open up my own gym and start training pros. You know what I mean? I get my pro coaching license and start. I love the coaching side of things as well. You know what I mean? I think I've got a good eye for it. So I'd like to get involved in that straight away. The day I hang up the gloves, obviously take a bit of time off, family and all that, and then obviously start setting up your own gym, probably run about here somewhere, know what I mean, and try and flood some pros in, mate, know what I mean, and pass my knowledge on to other fighters, know what I mean, because by that time I've got a lot of experience in the game, know what I mean, so that, mate, and then obviously a few business ideas, know what I mean, but again, life on life's terms, day by day, mate, know what I mean, because again, I've done all that stuff, business, know, and then it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, fucking hell, it's the worst thing ever. When it's no, mate, know what I mean? I've got an older wise like he does a day, just like yourself, mate, know what I mean? And it's I appreciate it today, know what I mean? I appreciate my days, mate, because fucking hell, before, man, wow, The days were crazy, you know what I mean?
No, of course, mate, of course. And it's like living every day appreciative of the fact you're not living the life you used to with that, like with the drugs and all that, man. It's a fucking pure chaotic lifestyle. I've lived it myself.
I know, my attitude was stinking, mate, you know what I mean? I was just a nasty bastard, mate, you know what I mean? I wasn't a nice person. You know what I mean? I liked to fucking... When I was using, mate, I liked knives and all that, mate. I was just crazy. I was just like, when people looked at me and going, wow, what's happened to you? You know what I mean, I did, mate. I don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it, you know what I mean? But that's where drugs and drink led me to, just being nasty and wanting to hurt people and all that. And that's not really me, mate, you know what I mean? I'm a nice person, man, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean, it was just, it was a horrible... When I think back at now, I've obviously learned from it, you know what I mean? And identified with it, but nah, it wasn't nice times, mate, you know what I mean? The devil inside me, you know what I mean, as they say. But life's good today, you know what I mean, so we can take it for the day. You know
that's exactly it, mate. Plus as well, you've got all that behind you as well, that you're using your story, you're using what you're doing now. It's an inspiration to many people that go through that, because as I've said before, many people go through that and think this is the end, this is it, I'm fucked. And they'll maybe go back doing it, if this is I'm fucked, then what's the point in trying? I'll just get back doing that route, and they end up either committing more crimes, end up doing more jail time, hurting more people, or end up dead, which is
it's
not
never
a good
going to
outcome for
get any
anybody.
better, does it? Never gets any better thinking that way, you know what I mean? But I get it for people, it's hard, mate, fucking hard, man. See, even like drug addiction or that, mate, it's difficult, innit, man? See, fling that towel in, it's hard, mate, you know what I mean? And even doing the steps and all that, listen, it's beautiful, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful experience. Some challenging times in it, you experience it yourself, there's some challenging times in it, you know what I mean, like making amends to people and all that, you know what I mean, you're like, I don't know about that one, but it's all good, see, once all that's done, mate, I always say to people, you're only 12 steps away from a new life, trust me right now, and people go, I say, see if you actually give it a go, you know what I mean, and commit to it, and do it right, do your 1990 and do all these things, you know what I mean, 12 steps away from a new life, it'll take you 3 months to get through 12 steps. Fuck, say about 3 months to all the years you were out using and doing whatever you're doing.
That's
you know
fuck all.
So, know what I mean? So, mate, just passing the message on it.
That's exactly it. In more ways than one, you're definitely doing it. And what you're doing now. See, when all's said and done, I ask people this question all the time. If I use the word legacy, like in terms of like, when you're on your deathbed or when you pass on, you want to kind of leave some kind of memento for like maybe your wains, your grandwains to remember you by, or the people that knew you, or the general public, people that followed your career. What would you want your legacy to reflect?
I was a good person, mate. Just a good person, mate, you know what I mean? Boxing terms, obviously, I want to leave a legacy and I want to be one of Scotland's best fighters, alright? But early to HARPER, mate, I want people to realise that I was a good person, mate, and all the stuff that they hear and all the stuff that they seen or whatever isn't really me, mate, you know what I mean? And I'm sure I've caught it in time to change people's opinion on me, you know what I mean? But mate, the boxing terms is definitely I want to be one of the best fighters in Scotland, mate, and I want the people to read about me when I'm not here going, he was one of the greats, mate, you know what I mean? And he competed with the greats and he was in amongst the greats, you know what I mean? And that was just a good person, mate, you know what I mean? Because today I try and be every single day, mate, you know what I mean? And that's my goal, mate, is to be a better person every single day, mate, and fulfil what I believe I can fulfil in my career.
Do you think to see that, like if I was to ask you that question back when you were competing in the Team GB days and that kind of stuff, it would have been a lot more boxing focused?
Aye.
100%.
Just been boxing focused.
Aye.
I wouldn't even thought about me as a person, because I've already thought I was the best person. Everybody loved me and liked me. That's what I'd have thought. You know what I mean? So it would have been so much more boxing related, mate, you know what I mean? But as you said and as we spoke about, mate, age comes wisdom, doesn't it, mate? And you get a bit more, and you actually appreciate life a bit more, you know what I mean? Because back then it was just like nothing mattered but boxing. So nobody in life, not just my boxing career and that, when that's no today. Boxing's important, because it's my job and it's what I'm good at and I love it, you know what I mean? So it's important to me, you know what I mean? But my family, my friends, my wee girl and that are so important to me as well, mate. And people around about me, you know what I mean? I want to pass a message on, mate. I want to show people that you can go down a bad road, you know what I mean? But it's not the end, you know what I mean? It's not the end, mate. You know what I mean? And for the young team not as well, them that are doing that, mate, fucking screw the head, man, you know what I mean? Because we've all been doing that, it doesn't lead to any good end.
Does it fuck,
Might
man?
seem all good to know and all that, you've got a few quid in your pocket and all that, man, it's pish.
Aye.
It's pish, mate. There's so much, mate. There's so much, mate, of the world out there, mate.
Aye.
So, I've seen a lot of the world there, and that's what I say to people, I say to young guys and that, I say, it's fucking, there's so a big world out there. This is just a small wee bit, you know what I mean?
You forget that, you forget it's that kind of scheme mentality, because that's all you know. You think, like say, you think Govan is the world, but it's no. Like you travel, you see, you experience different cultures, man. It's like different ways of thinking. We could use that. and you just see it for what it is, and it's like, fucking hell, there's a lot I've no explored. And in fact, I went down to London. I know London's just at the fucking other end of the country, but still, even going down to London, I was like, fucking hell, it opens up your mind. Just
it's amazing, isn't it, mate? It's amazing when you see a bit more of the world, I say. Know what I mean?
Different cultures, different people, know what I mean? People have...
You can start connecting with different people, and you start just, I don't know, mate. I've done it obviously all most of my youth and my life, know what I mean? Travelled the world, mate, and been to mad countries, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, know what I mean? I've been to all sorts of Eastern European bloc countries, know what I mean? And it's amazing, mate. And then you appreciate actually what you've got when you see some of these countries, know what I mean? You do, know what I mean? So, be appreciative.
That's exactly it, man. And going forward, man, I think usually I would ask what is your plans going ahead. You've got a fight coming up, haven't you?
Should have a fight coming up, mate. I can't really say too much.
Oh, right, sorry, I thought I wasn't sure it was official.
It'll be announced in next week, I think, know what I mean? So mate, it's looking like July time. So we'll be back under the lights, mate, and then pushing on, know what I mean? Another good performance, getting me back in again. That last one was almost 5 years out of the ring, mate, so that was just getting all the nerves.
Getting all that rust away.
Getting that rust away, mate, know what I mean? Now we're back flowing, step up in the opponents, mate, and start seeing who's out there for some big fights. I'm not want to hang about too long. I'm not looking for journeyman after journeyman, mate. I want to put myself right in there, know what I mean? With my background and my experience, know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to the next 12 months ahead, mate. Good
stuff, man. I'm looking forward to see what you can produce, especially with the mindset and the mentality, and you've got the best backing behind you, man. So nothing but positive things coming for yourself, man. Definitely, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, by the time this podcast's out, it would have already happened, but Josh Taylor will be fighting Lopez this weekend. What's your predictions?
So Josh Taylor will be fighting Lopez this weekend, so I reckon he'll stop him within 4 rounds.
Right.
And everybody's going, it'll be a hangway and this and that. Listen, it's a magnificent fight, know what I mean? It's two elite guys going at it. I just think Josh is going to be too big, too strong for him, mate, know what I mean? And what I'm seeing in the gym is the old animal back, the old Hank back, know what I mean? He's looking mean, mate, and he's got a point to prove, know what I mean? So mate, within 4 rounds, I reckon he'll do him. Because
I think a lot of the general public, they're looking at Catterall fight and basing it. One bad fight, and then it's like they're just basing his full career off the back of it.
People don't understand that he's the best fight on the planet, undisputed champion. He's only one of so many in Britain to ever do it, mate. Like, a Scottish guy doing that, mate, it's like, wow, man. Know what I mean? That's just like, for me, mate, if I could win one of his belts, I'd be a happy man, know what I mean? He's got them all. He's actually vacated them, some of them not, because he's just, what a fighter, mate. And what a guy he is, mate, know what I mean? He's a really good guy. Me and him go way back, and I reckon he'll just go and do the damage this weekend, mate. He's got the killer mindset on now, know what I mean? And then he's got ambitions, mate, know what I mean? And he wants to fulfil them ambitions.
Of course, man. I wish him the best of luck today. And especially a Scottish guy. I hate to say it. I feel as if he was any other country, maybe England, America, he'd be a superstar.
I know,
because
mate,
it's just that Scottish thing. He's doing that bit more.
I know.
And he's doing that bit more. I mean, he's absolutely smashing it.
He's flying, mate. And it is that thing. It's like if he was saying maybe a different country would be a bit bigger, but he just accepts that today, mate. Because
that's what it is, isn't it?
He's definitely going to leave a legacy, you know what I mean?
100%, man, 100%. But mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, man. I love your story, man. For what you've came for, you've reached the pinnacle of an amateur boxing career, and then, as you say, you've hit rock bottom and bounced back for it, and now you're back fighting at that top flight pretty much, or you're training at that top flight, looking to be achieving yet again, man. So it just goes to show you, man, no matter how hard you hit rock bottom, there's still a way back at it, man.
Of course there is, mate, and thank you for having me.
No, mate, pleasure's all mine, mate, but thanks for having us, my friend.
Thank you.
Premeditated patter.